Hello, Barmy Badger Army. Yes, we have a lovely special guest with us today. 80s and 90s retro collector. This geezer is hotter than molten lava. He's nearly on 100k. This is the 80s and 90s retro collector, Mr. Swaley.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the show. Thanks for having me, my friend.
That is all right, mate. Introduce yourself quick so everyone knows who you are.
80s and 90s retro collector, guys. Collector of all things vintage 80s and 90s. Check us out on YouTube.
That's right indeed. Now, tonight we're going to have a bit of an informal chat, similar to what we're doing on the bench and tea and talk and things like that. And we're going to have a little chat about our favourite retro films, as it were. Now, I'm going to start off. I'm mainly into like my Marvel and DC retro stuff. So we're going to sort of talk about that. Now, on your video, we mentioned it at the very end, but this one, I'm going to mention it at the very start. One of my favourite 90s action films involves a certain Wesley Snipes, involves Chris Christopherson, I believe, as well,
yeah,
and several other 90s action stars, and that is the immortal Blade. Now, this is one of my favourite films of all time. There was 3 in the main series, hopefully now a 4th coming out, and maybe even a 5th if you include Daredevil versus Wolverine as part of the canon. Now, you cannot get any better than this. It is gritty, it is bloody, it has swearing, it has cool props, it has action coming out of its eyeballs, and a strong, strong soundtrack. Everyone still knows it. If you played this song, you know, that club beat at the beginning, if you play that club beat in a room full of geeks, you'll see everyone dancing, even to a load of techno, because it is a fantastic that scene at the start with the bloodbath and the blood club. Fantastic, with that whirly thing that Wesley's got, like the weird sort of boomerang slicer thing that, you know, whoa, whoa, and it just goes around, kills about 20 vampires before it's even come back into his hand. It's like a batarang on supercharge, you know. It's fantastic. And obviously his pick sticker, that fantastic sword, that when it pops out and on his hand and he's like, ah! Fantastic. So the gore's there, the action's there, the soundtrack was there, and I think it's one of Wesley Snipes' like best acting experiences. Obviously you've got stuff like 2-1-Foo, Thanks for Everything, Doodly Numa, which is a bit of a weird cult hit of mine, and you've got other ones like Demolition Man and all that.
White Men Can't Jump.
White Men Can't Jump, but for me, that is the epitome of 90s cinema. You've got stuff like Batman Returns, which comes close. You've got the Punisher films that they released. You've got all these other action films, but that to me screams 90s, screams the revival of Marvel cinema, and is just, it was made on quite a low budget, but it was a great film, and I don't think, personally, you wouldn't have the Marvel films like Thunderbolts and New Avengers and all these different films that they're releasing now. You wouldn't have those without Blade.
No, definitely not. Let's be honest, it's the best film ever made. I mean, I totally agree with you. Groundbreaking. The best guy playing the role. I was over the moon when Ryan Reynolds said that he's going to get another one made, and
that's it, yeah.
As a thank you for obviously the opportunity he was given by Snipes in the third Blade movie, I believe.
That's right, yeah.
Before he was really known, and now he's the main guy in a position to do it. He's returning the favour, which I love to see things like that.
Yeah, because Wesley's not exactly on the greatest of times at the minute, with all the tax invasion and other things going on in their personal life. Wesley needs a bump up to get back into the Hollywood good books.
Absolutely, just like John Travolta did with Pulp Fiction. And, The Bat 2C. There you go.
Pulp Fiction, also another great 90s film. Not really what you would call an action film, more of a thriller.
Yeah, I'm not sure what I'd call that. I mean, it's not one of my favourites. I love the poster. I love the soundtrack.
Yeah.
There's some scenes in it that are great, like the dancing scene.
Yeah.
But the film itself, I found it. Reservoir Dogs. I'm not a Tarantino fan.
See, I'm a bit of a Tarantino fan when it comes to stuff like that. Kill Bill, fantastic. You know?
I liked Kill Bill. There's none of his films I love. The last one I watched was Once Upon a Time.
Did you know they were going to make a Kill Bill 3, but because the script got leaked, they cancelled it.
I didn't know that. No,
Yeah.
is that for sure? Right.
And Django Unchained 2, they were going to make that, and because the script got leaked, he cancelled it.
Really?
He's very strict with that. Any spoilers whatsoever, nope.
Okay, I didn't know that. Oh wow, wow, really? And the Django Unchained was a an interesting film. Like I say, I've not liked any of his films, but they're certainly different. But there's none that I'd say like when you were just talking about Blade, I'm like, yeah, I agree, and I'm sure lots of other people do. But with Tarantino films, I find them like very odd. Like I watched Jackie Brown a few times.
I haven't actually seen Jackie Brown yet. I need to watch that.
Yeah, check that one out because he's only actually done 5, hasn't he? Turns in like big time. He has like 7 years in between each movie or something, doesn't he?
If you can afford to do it, do it.
Oh yeah, I'm not knocking him. I'm just saying, yeah.
Also, you've got the Usual Suspects. You ever seen that?
Oh, of course. Yeah.
Oh, one of my favourite films of all time.
Good
Usual
film.
Suspects.
Yeah,
was
Kevin
great.
Spacey.
With Kevin Spacey, obviously that's a controversial actor to talk about, but I really liked his performance in Usual Suspects.
So did
and in. Was it 7? Yeah, 7.
7, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic. And 7 also.
Oh, he's great in it. Sorry, that's Phil. Right, that can be edited out. So with regards to Kevin Spacey, I don't think he's done a bad film. American Beauty, I love that film.
Yes, that was fantastic, wasn't
it? Absolutely. I mean, action films, like you mentioned Blade, didn't you? What about what's the one from the 80s that you're that passionate about, mate?
Well, there's so many good ones, isn't there? Obviously, we talked about Masters of the Universe. That's a fantastic film.
Yeah.
You've got the Indiana Jones series.
Yeah.
You've got Batman, 1989.
Yes.
Batman Returns. These are all fantastic, brilliant films that just need more love. My worry is the media is going so fast. New stuff is coming out every week. We're being so gorged with entertainment that sometimes people like me and you are becoming rarer and rarer and rarer because some people don't remember the old school stuff. So we've got to keep it alive,
Absolutely agree, yeah. Absolutely, and that's what we intend to do right here on your channel and
yours
on
as
mine.
well, yeah.
Absolutely.
I love it, absolutely adore a good retro film.
Yeah.
One of my favourite retro horror films, I got 2 actually, which is, of course, the original Scream with Courtney Cox and Neve Campbell. One of my favourite films of all time.
Same.
Because, once again, the effects were fantastic, but the practical effects were great. The practical effects, the first time you see Ghostface is really scary. The lighting is brilliant. The lighting in that film is fantastic.
It is.
The way, and that's
Cinematography.
cinematography. And they actually use ideas from Italian cinema. So when it's going to be a scary scene, you'll see more reds, you'll see more muted colours. And you'll see more darkness. When no one's going to get killed, it's usually out in the open. Sunshine, brightness, so they definitely do all these things. When you watch it again, think of that in mind of what colours they use. They borrow a lot of ideas from Italian cinema on that sort of thing,
Like Drew Barrymore's top, if I'm not mistaken. that was red, wasn't it?
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, on the poster it is,
Exactly, and that means that she's going to be red, she's going to be the first one dead.
I've never thought of it like that. That's really, I've learned something there, and that's adapted from Italian films, right?
That's it, yeah. If you watch films like, if you watch films like Dark Glasses by Dario Argento.
That is a cool t-shirt.
Thank you. Or if you watch films like that are based around that time. Italian cinema is all about colours and all about vibrancy and musical tones, and Scream uses a lot of that stuff. Yeah, and you've got stuff like I Know What You Did Last Summer with Jennifer Love Hewitt.
Love it.
Yeah. Fantastic film. Great. Once again, good special effects, good practical effects. In the first one, it's not all about just the killing. It's the way, the psychological aspect of the way the killer goes about it. Chopping off Sarah Michelle Gellar's hair, you know, like an upsetting Ryan Philippe in the boxing club, doing all these different things. So it wasn't just about a slasher film. There was that psychology about it as well.
Right, which makes it one of the...
which makes it one of the better, yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. And obviously you've got He-Man we watched with Dolph Lundgren. Fantastic film. You know, the way that they do that. Dolph Lundgren's presence on film, even though not a very good actor with the talking side of it, but the presence of him on screen as He-Man is fantastic.
Yeah, absolutely. Couldn't agree more. They couldn't have cast anyone else for the role, could they? Could you imagine if it had been someone like Stallone playing the role? We wouldn't have been talking about the film now in a good light, would we?
No, I think at the time he was the perfect one. Now there's a few different people you can
even
pick.
to this day, I think that even if they remade it, which they're not now, I don't think they'd be able to top that great. I think it was 1987, Master of the Universe. It was done on a low budget, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And I think Frank Langella, is it, who played Skeletor? They didn't think they were going to get him because he's like a really big star at the time, whereas Dolph Lundgren had only been known for Rocky IV. And he said, yeah, I'll do it. And then they ran out of budget and they had to the end fight sequence apparently was all rushed and done on a shoestring, and they didn't think it'd lead to anything. Then Cyborg with Van Damme was meant to be Master of the Universe 2, but they couldn't get the funding to make Master of the Universe 2, so they ended up making a Cyborg with Jean-Claude Van Damme, totally changing the whole idea of it. But that was meant to be Master of the Universe 2, but they wouldn't finance it.
Did not know that.
Okay.
I'm hoping they do make it, because there's always these little rumblings of, you know, Netflix buying Power Rangers, Netflix buying this, that.
Yeah.
You never know. And also, they've got the cartoon series with Kevin Smith, which was pants. But that's another video for another time.
It was peculiar, wasn't it?
It was peculiar. Why kill off the main character halfway through the series?
I could never understand that.
But yeah, we're not going to go down that rabbit hole.
No.
But yeah, I'm hoping they do remake it. But like I said, every actor that's been attached to it has sort of disappeared. But yeah, I was hoping for the Hogan biopic, but that's cancelled now. And it looks like, you know, so we'll see. But yeah, I'm really excited to see what happens next with retro revivals. I'm pretty sure there's a new Battletoads game. There's a new Power Rangers game that's come out recently. It's a beat 'em up. There's obviously Toxic Avenger. If you like Tromaville, that sort of thing's coming out. So there is a revival of it. But like I said, it's going to take us and new fans to bring it back in. There's such a gorge of entertainment now that we need to make sure that the old stuff stays alive.
Absolutely.
Definitely.
Couldn't agree more.
Yeah.
And that's what we are going to do right here, guys, on these channels.
That's it.
You do it too. Let's keep the golden era alive.
That's right. So then, what would you say is your favourite sort of experience and your favourite time in that period, and with your filming and stuff, and with your film
in the 80s?
Yeah.
My favourite time was when I discovered the martial arts genre of films. Like, the first one I watched was AWOL, and then I'm like, this was really like motivating. And then Rocky IV was on like ITV or something, and I remember watching that for the first time, and like, oh wow, that is like really like sort of lit a fire in myself, and I'm like, I want to work out. And yeah, so that's when I started wanting to sort of imitate these guys. And then there was the introduction of wrestling. A neighbour going, "Oh, do you watch WWF?" I went, "I've no idea what you're talking about." Because they had Sky and we never did. We got it later than other people. Like if you had a satellite dish when we were at school, you were rich, and well, not everybody
100%.
could have one.
I remember my neighbour, God rest her soul, she used to videotape X-Files for me every week. And my auntie, my mum's friend, she used to videotape all the new Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles episodes for me.
My neighbour used to videotape The Simpsons for me on Sky One, and wrestling. And see, I was introduced with the wrestling along with the Rocky films around 89, 90 time.
See, I'm not even too sure. I think I used to watch World of Sport with my dad.
Big Daddy Giant Haystacks.
All that sort of stuff. Yeah, years ago on ITV. And then we sort of got into watching WWF.
Yeah.
And then he watched a bit of TNA with me and a bit of WWE. God rest his soul, he never got to watch AEW, but I think he would have liked
Any
it.
WCW? Or?
Yeah, we used to watch WCW together,
Cool.
and we used to watch WWE.
That's really cool, man. I love that. I love that because that's good memories there.
That is, yeah.
Yeah.
And it choked me up because obviously they mentioned all about that in his funeral and all that, and that was like,
that's
so nice. That was a tough one.
They're fond memories.
They are fond memories, yeah. But yeah, so that was a good point, and my love of cinema comes from my mum and dad, because we always used to go to the Odeon
in Romford.
Yeah.
So did me and my mum and dad.
The Odeon in Romford, and we went to the ABC, and I'm pretty sure when they were a bit flash, we used to go to the one in Lakeside and everything as well. See, a lot of my memories come from once a month. My parents weren't flash. So once a month, I got to have a toy or a game, whatever I wanted.
Okay.
So we would go out once a month to Tesco's, and I'd be able to pick one toy and all that. It didn't matter. It could be any value, but it was only one of them, And then obviously when that progressed and I got my Game Boy, it was one game a month, and
I think that's what the problem is today. From what I see, is I'm seeing children of 11 years old, like when I'm out, neighbours of mine and whatnot, with these £1,000 phones, being given anything they want whenever they want, and just flinging it aside because it's whereas. If I think that likewise the same with me, if it wasn't a birthday or Christmas, if I'd done something and that it'd be rewarded, it'd be like, yeah. But I remember seeing like the Super Mario Brothers 2 and my family going, that's 40 quid. This is back in sorry, we can't get that, and put it on your Christmas list. And and the children that were in my class that did the spoiled ones, that they were like, yeah, I played it, and it just it didn't prepare them for the real world. And they're the same ones now that I see with this entitled attitude that have just ended up either going down the alcohol or drugs path, of in and out of endless relationships because they were never shown gratitude properly. And I don't want to get too much into that, but I think like me and you have been down similar roads, and likewise, like you, it's a special treat. Like a takeaway was. We didn't have takeaways all the time, mate. It'd be a birthday.
Yeah, some people I know only have a takeaway once or twice a year.
I probably do. I mean, I'd have because the price of them now, 30, 40 quid. I mean, good luck to you if you want to. It's all right if you can afford it. I mean, the food shops is expensive enough, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly, yeah. But, so I do think that was probably for me what makes it more exciting, and what kept you into it longer was that you had to wait. Nowadays everything's bombarded and you get loads of stuff all the time, but if you have to wait, you enjoy it more.
Absolutely, mate.
That's it. That's what I think.
Well, you are spot on, and I think a lot of people are going to be able to relate to that. Why not put your stuff in the comments here, guys, about when did you get treated? Did you not agree that special toy you got once a month, like this guy, you put it on your Christmas list? Now, you would treasure that. I know I would treasure that toy, whereas if I was getting it bought for me willy-nilly, it'd be, which is what I saw other children do. Oh, it's that, and I'd be like going, look, if you don't want that figure, mate, I'll buy it off you for like, you know, with my pocket money.
Yeah.
And then I'd do that, and then, yeah, all right, mate, yes, but I treasure it, and they're like, oh, you still got that figure, so I still to this day appreciate things. I mean, my car's not worth much, but I keep it clean, and I feel lucky to have it. Whereas you get other people that's like, oh, I've got to have the big flash car. So yeah, I'm glad I was brought up the way I was, and I didn't change. But it'd be interesting to hear our other people's thoughts
in the comments. Yes,
right
indeed.
Down here, guys.
Indeed, and thank you very much for watching, guys. This has been a great little session, and big shout out to Swaley for joining me. And please do swing yourself over to 80s and 90s Retro Collector. Let's get this man on 100k. See you next time, everyone. Bye.
Take care, guys.